beat it Sunday before I went to work, and I couldn't soak nothing in because I beat it. But let me hit play, and we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kingdom Cast. It's your boy Big Red, and today I'm followed by Vash. Well, today I am co-hosted, whatever. It's Vash from last time. What's up? Say what's up.
Hey, what's going on?
And we're just here talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and just it's gonna be a doozy because I actually got this one written down. We're gonna get this going. I would just like to say and start off with our original counter with Final Fantasy VII and how we discovered it. You want to go first?
Yeah. How old was I? Probably like 7 or 8. I was at a daycare, and a lot of the older kids that the daycare ladies, like sons and daughters or whatever, were into video games. She had like 6 kids, and they all had like their own PlayStation and whatnot. So, video games were a huge part of my childhood with that. Growing up there, Final Fantasy VII was one of the first Final Fantasies I ever saw. Played it, or actually I didn't play it. I watched them play it because they wouldn't let me play it because their save, they didn't want me to mess up their save data.
Sound
But
like jerks to me.
yeah, exactly. No, but they're cool kids. But basically, yeah, just played throughout middle school with it on the, or sorry, high school on the PSP actually. My PSP was actually
Oh, you downloaded
broken.
the classic, the PS1 classic.
I did, and I had Symphony of the Night, and I had Final Fantasy VII, and somebody broke my PSP. It actually broke my memory stick. I had lost all my progress, didn't even get through the game, and then I just recently picked it up on Switch because I was like, I tried to do it on PS4, when the remake, or not the remake, but the remaster,
Yeah.
and couldn't really get through it. And I like playing on handheld, so when it came to the Switch, I played it. So the last time I played it was January. I just finished it, full playthrough and everything. So watched a ton of speedruns on it. It's one of my favorite games to just watch people play, and one of those things that has got me into like the Kingdom Hearts and all the JRPGs and whatnot.
Sounds a lot similar to me, except I wasn't in a daycare. That's interesting. Wait. So you actually beat it for the first time in January?
That's right. That's right. 3 months ago.
I
So
can't I can't talk smack because I did own the original PS1 copy and I bought a bunch of digital versions, but I never got around to beating it because I was just, as a kid, I was always wanting to be outside. I didn't have the attention span for it if it wasn't Kingdom
hmm
Hearts. So
yeah.
I bought it on the Switch last spring, and when it was on sale for like $9, I bought it. I
Yep.
bought it,
That's
and
when
I
I
beat
got
it,
it too.
and I beat it. I felt dirty, but I was like, you know what? I can say I beat it, and I cheated.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I did the whole limit break at the end. I kept doing it, spamming it.
I definitely did the same thing. A lot of purists are gonna be mad at us for doing that, but
It is
my
what
reasoning was because
you
I
didn't
was
have the
like,
time,
listen,
bro. You didn't have the
well, yeah,
time.
A, the time, and B, I was like, I've already played through all this. I know what this is. I
Yeah,
just want to
we
get to the end of the
yes,
game. So,
exactly.
that's my reason for doing it. But I definitely still had a blast with it. I think it's a great game.
It holds
I'm
up, man. It's insane how it
Yeah,
holds up.
it's really cool. And the thing that's cool is, I'm doing this thing right now where I am actually, um, I have a list of video games that I'm playing for this whole year of 2020, just because this quarantine things going on. So,
Yeah.
um, I've already finished about 14 games, and
Dang.
uh, I've been rating all of them out of a scale of 100, and that's one of the ones that I finished, and I was like, I love this game. It's great. So, um,
Man,
it's really cool, and I'm glad I could do it right before
the
the
remake.
remake comes out. Yep.
For me, what I was introduced to Final Fantasy, to be honest, I think it was Kingdom Hearts. Like I saw Cloud, and I'm like, who the hell is this dude with the like the bandage up sword and the red burnt up scarf and whatnot? And through that, I found Final Fantasy. I met Titus and Walker first, and I never played a Final Fantasy up until that point. So I played 10, I played 10, and I was like, okay, this is too lovey-dovey, whatever. Let me see what Cloud was all about. So my dad takes me to EB Games at the time. This is like 2000, I think 2002, because I beat Kingdom Hearts already.
Yeah.
And I take Def Jam Vendetta, and I trade it in.
Oh,
I trade it in, because like, let's be real, we all get bored of wrestling games fast.
that's a good game though.
It
Not gonna lie to
was,
you.
it was, it was.
Papoose, hell yeah.
My mind was Tornado, Twista, whatever it was, Twista.
Twista, yeah,
It
hell
was
yeah.
dope. He did the little finishing special where he jumps on your head and spins around.
Uh huh. Oh
But
yeah, I remember that game.
I traded in. The guy's like, "You got $30." I'm like, "What?" 30 as a kid, $30 is a lot when you're like 9.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, let me get this game, Final Fantasy. My friend Dennis kept telling me to get, because when I got 10, he was like, it's a good one, but you should have got 7. Anyway, So I see 7 on the wall, and it was like $12. So I'm like, oh, I got money left over. So we get it. I also pick up Mickey's Magic Mirror like an idiot because I'm in that Kingdom Hearts like run because Mickey Mouse is the shit apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I got Magic Mirror in Final Fantasy VII. I come home, pop it in, and then like the select screen threw me off. It was just a picture of a sword. I'm like, okay, it's not animated like Kingdom Hearts. Where's the music at? What the heck? I start playing the game, and then I see the train. I see Midgar. I see Aerith. I'm like, okay, this looks dope. But then it switches to the actual in-game graphics. I'm like, what the hell is this? They look like Lego pieces. I did. I wasn't mad. No, I wasn't mad. And the thing is, my dad, he played video games growing up, like Mario and all that. So he saw the PS2 of Kingdom Hearts graphics. He's like, oh, this next game you're talking about must be good, even though it's on PlayStation 1. My dad saw it, and he's on the tail end of me blowing his mind with Kingdom Hearts graphics. He's like, what the hell is... We're taking it back. I'm like, no. Just let me give it a chance. Man, I look past the graphics and all that. I get to the run, and I meet Barrett. I see Tifa. I see Sephiroth. Like, this is... Like I said, I go way past a couple missions and stuff, and you meet Sephiroth. I'm like, all right, the story got me. Everything got me. The materia is confusing. I'm like 9, but I got it. Put it down because the third disc was scratched up to hell because I don't know what was wrong with me at the time, but the third disc was scratched up to hell and back, and I never beat it. Flash forward to like 2009, I got a PS3, bought another copy of it, and I'm trying. I got the digital version. I'm trying. I get to the second disc, and I was stuck at the part where well, this goes into spoiler territory. I'm stuck at the part where Cloud has to rebuild his psyche, his mind. That's the part I got stuck at. Because I was genuinely afraid of the music playing there. It was the ancient city music.
Yeah. It's
So
kind of eerie. He's like, yeah, that's good.
I was like, no, I can't do this. So I put it down. 2019 pops up, and I buy it for the Switch, and I beat it. Felt good about it.
Nice.
That's my thing with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. It wasn't really great like yours, but that's what I went through.
Well, that was still... I mean, that's basically the same story I have for like Metal Gear Solid, and that's a different topic we'll go over maybe another podcast. But
whenever PlayStation conversations come up, it's always at the end Metal Gear Solid versus Final Fantasy VII. Like every time, it's down to those two.
People are gonna hate me. I'm gonna pick Metal Gear Solid every time. Sorry about it, but
I couldn't get into it. I stuck with 7.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Teach their own. I do love 7 still.
What did you I mean, let's be real. Final Fantasy VII is beloved, and like honestly, I was one of the guys that were, even after I did beat it, I was still thinking to myself like, there has never been an RPG with a story like this. Like, there's always been like Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. Oh, he wants to rule the planet. He wants to rule it. There has never been a villain that just wants to destroy it, to just destroy it. Like, so this day, that story bro, like I cannot. There has never been a Final Fantasy with a story like this, where the main villain actually was actually a good guy, was actually considered a hero, we get to see him mentally become unstable, and then our main character, we think he's all solidified with his persona as being a soldier first class, but then he becomes unstable. Like, I have never, and after 7, they set a precedence. There's been other RPGs since 7 that follow this kind of story element or have these plot points taken out into their game. But I have never played a game with this story plot before.
Yeah.
It blew my mind as a kid. But like, I don't know. I just want to get into what we liked and what we didn't like about the game. I don't know.
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, even if the characters did look like little Legos, it was still the fact of how they carry the story and the pacing and everything. Obviously, the original game doesn't have the best translation.
No,
but
I was always looking for the weapon shop above the 7th Heaven bar, but it wasn't there.
But yeah, exactly. Like, when you kind of look past that, even with the story elements too, it does do a really good job of telling, and I mean, the world building is great in that game, and that's the thing with Final Fantasy, and that's the thing that I feel like a lot of games are missing nowadays, because we have the graphics and they don't tell a story. It's like a book. You don't have anything to look at, and kind of like you have to tell the story not just with the visuals but with the writing, with mechanics. I mean, even just the small things like what I liked going into the mountains, and you have to literally smash the A button to keep your heat up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like your body heat.
Your temperature up.
Yeah, I remember
So like just stuff like that, like it just little things, and like that's what kind of like we go back to the thing of Metal Gear. Like this is the time of like the late 90s, like early 2000s. This is when gaming really turned like into a pivotal moment, and that's why everybody remembers Metal Gear Solid. Everybody remembers Final Fantasy VII because they did things that were just like you didn't see in games, and they kind of broke that mold. So that's something I really liked. The story obviously was great. Um, that's kind of what stuck out to me. And then obviously you get like the cool guy, Cloud, that's riding the motorcycle, got the big ass sword.
Yeah.
And that's just as a kid, you're just like, oh yeah, I love it. So yeah, that's what I loved about the game. I mean, that's as a kid, what more can you ask for?
That's true. I mean, I could have asked for. I don't know, man. Even if I complain about the graphical difference, that's because I went backwards in like gaming. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
jumped from
exactly.
10 to 7. I can't. But I can like honestly my freaking defense for that, like it's logic. Like I can never
Mhm.
just get over that fact that the graphics are ugly to me because I was playing other games before that one. But I can
Mhm.
imagine at the time people were just like eyeballs were melting out of their head. I'm pretty sure
Exactly,
they
yeah.
were
Because it went from sprites. It was sprites from Final Fantasy VI,
2D.
to the polygons, and that's where that big turn was. Like Mario 64, people just were jaw dropped. You look back at that game and you're like, whoa,
It's a piece of crap.
it doesn't look great, you
No.
know. But yeah, for that, it still holds up, to this day. But those kind of graphics are what we have, why we have stuff that we do today, and that's the cool thing. It was like paying homage to those classics that were the kind of the bridge builders to get to where we're at.
There's just like a legacy behind 7. Like the
Hmm.
graphics and just that, man. Like the one game, like I said before, like I've never played a game like this. This one game made so many spin-offs and sequels and prequels. Like I was looking at the wiki a couple nights ago, and there's like 7 Final Fantasy games that came after this one. There's Crisis Core, Before Crisis, the mobile game, Dirge of Cerberus, which is really good. Like I'm not gonna get into that, but people hate that game for some reason. Dirge of Cerberus, I
I
love
loved
it.
Dirge
I
Cerberus,
love
and
Dirge of
I
Cerberus.
and I loved Crisis Core. Zack is actually my favorite character in Final Fantasy, to be
Oh,
honest. And we'll
yeah,
get
we
to
will.
more Zack stuff.
All right.
So, and that's why I
So,
love this game. That's the
so
one thing I love about this game.
I'm just gonna do it. Let's just do the story recap for the original 7 real quick, so we can just have something to compare when it comes to the differences
Mhm.
of the remake. I'll do like the first half. You do the middle disc, and we'll just jump in and out of that last disc. But and you feel free to jump in and like just if that's your favorite part, you say it, whatever. But like
Mhm.
for those of you that don't know, which is rare, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about 7 at this point. For those of you that don't know about 7, it's pretty much about a mercenary claiming to be a soldier. He gets caught up in this eco-terrorist group called Avalanche, and they're blowing up these reactors called Mako reactors that are sucking the life source out of the planet. Essentially, the corporation that funds everything, Shinra, is their main enemy, of course. And the game pretty much goes through Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, and other characters. They're like, their cavalcade of craziness, because this game is crazy, trying to stop Shinra and the planet from getting sucked up. They come across some science experiments that have gone wrong in the past, and it haunts them to this day. War heroes, Sephiroth, blah blah blah. It's oh my god, it's a really good game. I can't explain it, man. Just play it. Cloud, Sephiroth, they have this little beef. Someone has a false identity. Sephiroth's trying to expose it. And by the way, even though Sephiroth's a major dick, he never really does anything him personally throughout the game until the very end. Because leading up to everything at the end of the game, when I replayed it, it's really just Genova's like random body parts acting out, taking
Yep.
on the form of Sephiroth.
Well, I think Sephiroth is taking on the form of the body parts, correct?
No,
Isn't that?
Sephiroth, he's frozen in a northern crater because he got sucked up. When Cloud stabbed him in Nibelheim and threw him into the life stream, ended up flowing into the northern crater and getting frozen there. And the Genova cells, because he's Genova, he got the cells of Genova in his body got absorbed into the life stream, and Genova finally was able to be inside the life stream, and she was able to manipulate all life through the life stream. But the only life she was able to manipulate were those with the Genova cells. That's why Cloud was having crazy flashbacks and not Tifa. You're seeing Sephiroth and all the Hojo clones were acting crazy because they were the only beings with Genova cells inside them. If Zack was still alive, he would have been having. Speaking of, anyway, if Zack in that timeline, if Zack was still alive, he probably would have been having crazy flashbacks too, because Hojo put Genova cells inside him as well, right? I think so. I think so. I don't know. Well, first disc, they're fighting. They're traveling different cities. They meet different characters. They join their party. Red 13 is a wolf, lab rat, dog, lion hybrid that's tested by Hojo.
Chimera kind of thing.
Chimera kind of thing. Sid Highwind is a scientist that was left behind by Shinra in abandoned projects. He's a pilot scientist astronaut, and he's just an old man stuck in the heyday trying to live out his dream from when he was younger, and he's trying to go into space. Shinra funded his program, completely left him behind, and just abandoned the project. He became bitter against Shinra, and that's how he joins Cloud's group. Yuffie is just some ninja that chose to left Wutai because of the war they were having with Shinra, and she's just being a little scamp running around everywhere. Vincent Valentine, an ex-Turk that fell in love with another scientist who chose to self-experiment on herself and abandoned him. He couldn't let go of that, fell in love with, kept loving her, and he decided to keep himself in exile because he failed to protect the person he loved. They join Cloud's party because they find out Sephiroth is the child of the woman he loved. And I'm not going to tell you who the dad is because it's not really that important. It could have been anybody from Shinra and would have the same effect. Screw it. Hojo Sephiroth's dad. I'll say it. Aerith joins the party because she is the last remaining ancient. An ancient / Cetra is a race of people that are able to commune and talk to the planet and take advantage of its powers and are able to manipulate it and use it. But they don't take advantage of it. They just use it. What else? Barrett is just some soldier that was just some coal miner raised in the city of Corel, and Shinra took over, changed everything from the status quo. Instead of coal being the power, they made Mako the power. The Mako reactor blew up and destroyed his city, and he has a vendetta against Shinra because of that. Tifa, just Sephiroth killed her family and destroyed her village. She wants to kill Sephiroth. Doesn't care about Shinra as much. Cloud, on the other hand, he is a mercenary. He was a normal foot soldier, but a little memory thing happened with him and Zack. Zack is also a character we need to talk about. Zack is a first-class soldier that was trained by Shinra, and a lot of his memories and a lot of his personality and everything about himself was transferred over to Cloud when he died, trying to run back to Midgard from Nibelheim because of the incident that Sephiroth started, the fire, blah blah blah. Shinra deemed all soldiers first class to be a threat after Sephiroth did what he did at Nibelheim, and Cloud was a first class soldier. Zack was a first class soldier at the time, so he was on that wanted list. At that moment, him and Cloud had to run away from Nibelheim and return back to Midgard to avoid all those problems. He wasn't able to make it and died. That's pretty much it. At the end of Disc 1, Aerith dies. We go to the Forgotten Capital. We come to find out that Aerith has a materia called Holy.
Spoilers,
yeah. Called Holy. It's useless until the planet needs to use it.
The white materia.
The only one that we don't even really see in our menu, just in the cutscene. But yeah, she's praying for that the Forgotten Capital, which is the home base where all Cetra first built their civilization from. Aerith prays for them, which is you can't. Let's talk about Aerith. Let's talk about her. I'm sorry.
You mean Eris?
Aerith. No, we're not doing it. Let's talk about that first. Yeah. In the Japanese version, her name is Eris. Aerith, right?
Eris, yes. In the original, it's Eris, and they changed her name to Aerith for some reason. I don't know why. There's probably a bunch of people with a bunch of knowledge on that I'm not. I haven't looked into it a lot, but if you hear us say Eris or Aerith, it's the same person.
It is the same person. But let's talk about this character type. From every Final Fantasy up until this point, she is the white mage. This is someone that's very delicate and very important to the dynamic of your party. And not only that, she's just adorable. In the oh my god. Anyway, it's just someone. It's someone you're known to care about. It's the white mage, that flower girl, happy-go-lucky, never ever been sad. Always takes all the responsibility to herself and tries to help out as much as possible. Throughout the game, you care about her, and she just. At one point, she finds out the truth, tells the party, hey, I'm the only one that can do this. I gotta go. She goes off, doesn't even think twice, doesn't hesitate, just goes. Goes off on her own. You, Cloud, and whoever else you want to pick to come with you have to go find her. And this is how sick, this is where I mean, the game story itself and how convoluted it is and how rare something like that has ever been made. The main character we play as Cloud has a deep mental connection to Sephiroth, the main villain. We can see Sephiroth as how can I say it? We can see Sephiroth as not an arbiter, because that word is being thrown around a lot in the remake, But we can see Sephiroth as like the figure for evil, darkness, planet destruction, and he tries to make it seem like he's trying to bring the planet back to its original state. But it's really his personal vendetta for it. He wants to rule the planet. He wants to destroy it and use its shell as a spaceship to fly around in space and whatnot. It's weird. Anyway,
He's got a weird fetish. Yeah.
he does. Likes his mom's head. It's weird.
Yeah.
Aerith, on the other hand, wants the same goal. She wants to destroy a certain aspect of the planet, which is Mako energy being used. She wants to save the planet from, like, how can I say this? She wants to save the planet from greedy people like Shinra. She does.
Yeah, people abusing it, and I
yes.
mean, basically, you have the allegory of corporate greed and capitalism just kind of mixed into the story, which just makes it, yeah. At least the first part. I mean, the second part is kind of, you know, eco-friendly as well. But when you come into like corporate greed and capitalism, there's a lot of politics that plays a part into the first part of the story of Midgar, which I think is great. I think it's great to have real life connections in there.
Everything can't be sunshine and rainbows for a kid, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that kind of balancing is actually really good for someone our age, because I did notice some things growing up after I played that game. I'm like, why?
Yeah, no, it kind of wakes you up a little bit, like, oh, I remember this. So that's something that I really like about it too. I mean, if you want to go on with the actual story here, feel free. But I do like the fact that it does the eco-friendly thing. I mean, you know, everybody's talking about like, tree huggers, but
there's a real outcome for the things we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the message that it has. That's kind of the big thing about Final Fantasy is like, hey, it's Final Fantasy, but also it's got some real world stuff in it. So I like that.
And that's what I mean by I've never played a game like that before.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Final Fantasy X was a love story. Kingdom Hearts was like, you know, love your friends. And this one was like, yeah, we got friends, but the planet's gonna die, bro. It's like, what?
Yeah.
There was a real sense of impending doom and a real sense of urgency, especially when you see the meteor towards the end of the game in the sky all the time. Bro. Anyway, freaking Sephiroth kills Aerith, and the plan to stop the planet from being destroyed kind of gets put on the halt. And Sephiroth summons a meteor to blow up the planet, and yada yada yada. Essentially, Aerith never really dies. Her spirit went back to the life stream, and her prayer was heard by Holy, and like the spell to push up pillars of Mako to push the meteor back into the sky was there. But it was a little too late, so they had to use the planet's life stream itself. But this is where the double-sided coin. This is where the story is good too. Like, it doesn't really finally end the problem. The fact that the life stream comes out, the life stream itself, which is the source of all energy on the planet, all life is made from it, all life returns to it. People that have died from like Genova cell mutation, the sickness coming from the Genova project, they're in the live stream as well. This is the crazy part. When the live stream itself comes out, the remnants of Genova are still in the live stream itself. So essentially, remnants of Genova are in the air. People are breathing it in, it's falling on them, they're becoming infected with Genova cells. This sets up the sequel to the game, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. It's a movie, came out like in 2006, 2005, I think. What was it? Anyway, it just, they stop meteor with the live stream, then, you know, like, everybody's all happy-go-lucky. Cloud looks into the sky, he knows it's Aerith. Aerith animates in the sky and looks down at him, yada, yada, yada. Classic, cliche anime ending. But, yeah, Advent Children happens, and this takes place 5 years after the original game. And, everybody's off doing their own thing, trying to find alternate sources of energy. Rufus Shinra, who takes over the presidency of Shinra Corporation because his dad dies in the game originally, he's presumably dead. He's hiding from the public. But the Turks, an elite group of, special personal soldiers? Are they soldiers? I wouldn't say that.
So nobody really knows who the Turks are, or what they do, I guess.
I think they're the Secret Service, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. They basically work for Shinra, obviously.
Yeah.
They explain it really a lot better in the remake. They actually give them like an actual role, I guess. But in the other games, they kind of are just
show up
there.
when they want.
Yeah, they do work for Shinra. They're like Secret Service, I guess it would be the best. Yeah, they kind of just go to muck things up and do Shinra's dirty work, like drop the plate, you know, that kind of stuff. Oh my god,
yeah. Speaking of, I really think, because you know they Advanced Children happens, guys. It's a good movie. Just watch it. I mean, there's a story to it, and it's not really relevant because it's towards the end of like the series, and nothing comes up after it. Anyway, but I just want to point out the thing about Rufus Shinra. When he gets into office, it's funny that he eliminates all public security soldiers, and like he puts all his focus on Sang instead of Heidegger. I like that because he knew his dad was a f up. He's like, Heidegger's a jerk. Let me just talk to Sang. And I think Rufus Shinra does have a conscience, man, like to a certain extent. Because he completely stopped the Turks from chasing Aerith. Because, like, I don't know. It became them trying to keep up with the Turks after they leave Midgar.
I think it's a double-edged sword in the fact that it's. I think
they both knew they were both looking for Sephiroth, so just follow each other, right?
Yeah, and he's not really. I think he's more about himself than his father is. His father is obviously very selfish, but I think he's more personal gain for himself and thinking like, how do I get a comfortable life? And his dad's more kind of like, how do I take over the world kind of thing. Because Rufus, whenever he comes up in the actual the main game, he says no more of my father having mercy for people. He basically is saying I'm merciless. So he's kind of an asshole, to be honest.
But he's not an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't go out and try to like take Aerith, and like he has other ways of doing things, but I don't know. He's just like like I said, it's a double-edged sword because in some things that he's a lot better, and a lot of things he's a lot worse. So
yeah, he straight up said, take the cannon off of Junin and bring it to Midgar. We're gonna blow that motherfucker up. And all the scientists are like, bro, no, because Sephiroth's in there. He's like, screw it, we'll kill Sephiroth too. They weren't even trying. They were trying to kill Weapon, right? And then he just like the crater happens to be behind Weapon, so he was happy about that. How did that work out? I think they were trying to blow up the northern crater, and Weapon was in the way.
I don't know what they were trying to do, to be honest. I mean, that's one of those things that they took the weapon, they put it on Midgar, and they were like, okay, this thing's coming for us, so let's blow it up.
Bro, they had like a total of like what 30 minutes to hook up all the reactors. That's some bullcrap.
Yeah, I mean, hey, make do with what you got, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But essentially, yeah, if you want to explain the third disc, because the second disc is like, that's just all like just mental stuff for Cloud, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember where the second disc ends, exactly.
They get the airship and Cloud's like, go spend time with the ones you love, and they have that one night together.
Yeah, so Cloud is in, I forgot what city is it? Is it Coastal? Is it?
No, he's in Mideel. He lost his mind in Mideel.
Okay, yeah, and then Tifa's kind of babysitting him.
Yeah.
They're on this kind of island place, and he's in this hospital. The weapons are loose. Basically, they're running amok, and there's one that's actually headed for. Is that first? It goes to Midgar first.
The first one, the regular weapon is just flying around. He goes to he's in the. No, it's not Midgar. No. Omega weapon, not Omega. Which one? I think Omega weapon's the one in Midgar. Then there's Emerald and Ruby, and then there was just the regular weapon that's flying around in the sky.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what's going on here. If you've got something pulled up, I would recommend you go for it because I'm thinking things out of order right now.
Oh, hold on. I know for a fact. Hold on. I know one of them appears over Cosmo Canyon because that's where the Cetra went to have that war with Red 13's clan, whatever. Hold on. Oh, there's Ultima Weapon, Diamond Weapon, Ruby Weapon, Emerald Weapon, and Jade Weapon, and Omega Weapon from Dirge of Cerberus. Cool. So the first weapon is Sapphire Weapon, and it attacks Junin. Remember they had to fire the cannon at him. Apparently 1 week after the weapon awoke, Sapphire Weapon is aquatic with a long serpentine tail and a streamlined blue and purple body with fins. Emerging from the water. Oh yeah, I remember emerged from the water and it's charging at Junin, and we got to get to there's having the slap fight on the roof of the cannon and all that with Scarlet.
Oh, with Tifa, yeah, because Tifa
was to be executed.
Yeah, that was actually sick as fuck. I hope they do something for that in the next game. I guess it would be the third game.
I think it's gonna be four. I think it's gonna be 4 parts, to be honest.
Well, they said 3 already, so.
Did they?
Apparently Nomura already has it and they're already started on the second one.
They told me, yeah. I read somewhere part 2 is like 45% done.
Yeah, so we'll probably get part 2 in the next 2 years.
I think part 2 is going to be holiday 2021.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I'm hopeful for it. I definitely want to play it. That's for sure. But yeah, so Cloud is at Medeal. His mind is basically shattered. They need to go get the huge materia is the big thing. So they go to Fort Condor, and
Oh
that's where the
yeah,
massive phoenix is. You have to do the little mini game thing to
I
like
hated
the
that
tower
drawing.
defense.
Oh my god.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I was kind of like, I could have done without it. That's for sure.
For sure.
Um, so Tifa and Cloud, definitely. What are they? I'm trying to read it here. They're plunged into the shining green depths. Okay, so that's where you marked into the tormented mind of Cloud. So that's where Tifa is basically trying to patch Cloud's mind together,
Yeah.
because
Which
he
is
got
sick scene.
banished to
Just
the
the
Shadow
music was
Realm,
creepy.
basically. Um, Tifa basically gathers up all his memories, helps him cope with his uh, soldier past. He's then restored. Then there's a materia bomb that needs to be disarmed. Then we find themselves in the Forgotten City, and they face Sephiroth. You find out that Sephiroth is the black materia, and then the holy materia is from Aerith. So you kind of go back to that main city, um, and what happens after that? I'm trying to remember what happens after you get the
The last big materia.
yeah,
You have to go to Rocket Town too, though.
that's true.
That was the most annoying one because I never got it every time. Even recently, I didn't get it. Like,
Really?
what's the
Okay.
number? Like
The one that
26.
was the worst for me was the submarine one. I hated
That
that
one
one.
was. Oh yeah, because everybody's hard in that level down there. I got
Yeah,
that. You got the Hades materia though. I love that. It's my favorite
yeah.
materia summon.
I got all of the. Oh wait, the summon you're talking about?
Hades, yeah, under the submarine because you have to fight Reno and Rude down there because they're looking for
Mm-hmm.
the big materia too.
Yeah. So what happened with my playthrough on the submarine is I actually was in that submarine and got killed, and I had to go back to the port and get into another submarine and go down.
That sounds
So
annoying.
I don't know if I missed that one, but yeah, I was pretty annoyed with that part. And I was like, because I actually I think I just left my Switch on and I was like going to do I think like my phone rang or something like that.
He
So
thought
I
it was
just
off in your
basically
pocket.
yeah, so I got killed, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I had to go back and like look up a guide to like where to go back and everything. So I probably missed a lot of stuff there. But that was that was one of my least favorite things, and that's probably why because I had to backtrack and everything. But
Sounds
yeah,
annoying.
that's the huge materia. Basically, um, they get Cloud back up, they get the huge materia, they go and fight Sephiroth. Sephiroth is in the way, obviously, of the of the meteor. They defeat Sephiroth, and basically the meteor still crashes down.
I swear to
Um,
God, the third disc is literally the supernova animation.
yeah, well, that's the thing, actually. The second, I think it's the second disc actually, um, is almost 80% of it is just cutscenes. That's why they had to use 2 or 3 discs because the cutscenes were so heavy and so, um, I guess, immense for just one disc. They had to basically had like the game in 3 parts because that one, the second disc doesn't have any gameplay almost.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
literally the flashbacks in
compared,
his mind.
yeah, compared to like the first and the third, it doesn't have any gameplay. It's just all like cutscenes.
And he's revisiting places that are already rendered. Like you can go back
Yeah.
to Wutai if you want, but Don Corneo, that's another thing. We'll save that for part 2 talk when the second part comes out because
Yeah, I think what we need to do is get to the remake. Let's talk about that. I really am excited to talk about
yeah,
that.
I want to just start off when it comes to the remake before we even like. Let me get back to this because I had the conversation. All right, here it goes. Here it goes. For the remake, what was your general reaction to when it was announced back in 2015? Like, what were
I
your
was
thoughts?
I was ecstatic. That E3 2015 I think was probably one of the greatest E3s to ever be. I mean, that was probably the last E3, the last good E3 to be honest.
Was it?
um,
Yeah. No. Yeah, it probably was.
I mean, I don't know.
Kingdom Hearts 3
I
got
remember,
announced. All that stuff got
yeah,
announced.
that well, yeah. Um, but no, seeing that and just hearing the music, the little tune that you have, and seeing Cloud's sword in his back, and you see Midgar and everything, and it kind of pans upwards into the meteor logo. That was something that I was really, really excited about. I was super, super, super like ecstatic about. Wow, they're actually gonna remake this game. they had a tech demo for PS3 back in the day where they kind of they teased a lot of
They
people.
teased the hell out of us.
Yeah, and so I think they understood. Okay, we got to put this out now, and I think it's too late. I really wish they would have started this project around. Uh,
2009.
yeah, and the thing I really don't like about Square Enix is that they always tend to make games just for the hype of them, and they don't tend to finish the games, and they keep. It's
Versus
kind of like they
13.
procrastinate almost. We talked about this a lot with Kingdom Hearts 3. We liked Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts 3, but it was also kind of a disappointment. So when I heard this, I was super super ecstatic, and then they had Kingdom Hearts 3 to finish. They had Final Fantasy 15 to finish, which that's another thing.
Oh
The game was
God.
great until the
No, it came
last.
out that year, didn't it? 15 came out.
Yeah,
2014,
it did.
15.
Yeah, well, I mean, finish. I mean, it had to go gold, and they had to do all that kind of stuff. But then they wrapped up Kingdom Hearts. Well, I guess not wrapped up, but they're wrapping up Kingdom Hearts
You
3.
could tell where they started trying to wrap it up at.
Yeah.
Right after Monsters Incorporated, it started to feel like it was trying to get wrapped up quick.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was really. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that later
We'll
again.
talk about it another time. Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw that, I was super excited. I've always been kind of looking at it. I know they stopped development on it for a while, so I want to say, was it Platinum Games that was? No, it was Cyber Connect.
For what? The 7?
That was that was supposed to actually do 7. They were outsourcing it to a different
I could have sworn
company.
it was Platinum because I remember people were bitching about Bayonetta 3 never coming out because of it.
Maybe that was it. I remember there was something to do with CyberConnect though.
No, for sure. Oh no! What? You know what it was? I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was for not the. It was like they were doing like models and cutscenes through them.
Okay.
Cause
Yeah.
especially in that last fight, you can see like that's some cyber connection right there.
Yeah.
How it
So
transitions seamlessly from from gameplay to cutscene.
yeah, and that's
Seamless.
something I really like to see. That CyberConnect is one thing, but seeing Platinum, I'm like, whoa, that's cool. That's a good. I love Platinum games. There's something that I haven't played the Bayonetta series ever.
They're really good.
They are good, but like I said, I've been playing a bunch. I just finished Nier Automata, and that game was my favorite that I've played out of all those 14 games this year. That's the highest rated game I have on that list. So definitely like had to actually scrap them. Because
Hold on, you're breaking up here, buddy. Hold up. Hold up. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, you broke up for a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying that was something that was in trouble in Paradise is having Platinum Games being scrapped, and they decided to go a different route and make it in-house instead and go back to square one. So, seeing that, that's kind of spelling trouble. Like that was the first kind of red flag I had in this project, seeing that okay, it might just be kind of rose-colored lenses and nostalgia glasses at that point. But I guess we saw what happened whenever it came out, so
Yeah.
or at least I did.
Yeah, I was just hyped. I didn't follow the production and like the making of it that well like you did. I did see some stuff on Twitter. I did see CyberConnect. I'm pretty sure it was CyberConnect. It was something about the transitions, and then I saw it when I played it towards the end. I'm like, okay, this is something like because in Naruto, Ninja Storm, whenever it does cutscene to gameplay, it's seamless as hell. But no, I was just hyped, man. I tagged my uncle in Jersey, a couple friends from back home in Florida. We were all just hyped. And I really was hyped. And I was just, the only thing I was worried about was like when it said Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first trailer was dope. Then the 2018 gameplay remake part 1. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here we go. Like, I honestly wouldn't. I don't care. I would have waited 4 more years if they would have done the full game. I would have waited 4 more years. I don't care. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we got what we got because it was good. But
Yeah.
I was worried about it being released in parts because when it gets released in parts, you know what happens. That means that it's a big project. They're gonna do whatever they can to follow it too closely to the original source material as a T. I was proven wrong by the source material thing, by the way. But They were gonna do it. They were gonna do as much as they possibly can to fit in a game. And to me, that screams time constraints and cutting things short. So I was worried about that. But then I played the demo, and I enjoyed the demo completely. And I was like, okay, I'm not worried about it no more. If it ends just at Midgard, like when they said it, that's cool. And they gave it real expectations. Like, we'll do the city of Midgard right now, just the city of Midgard, and see what happens, because that's what it was. We're gonna do the city of Midgard and see how the people react to it. And if it's done, we can pace the game for one whole world or one whole city like that. So at that point, I was thinking, okay, they're gonna do Midgard for one part. They're gonna do Calm for another part. Chocobo Farm, Mithril Mines, and Junin in one part. And then I saw, what was I talking about? Who was I talking to about this? It was some dude on Reddit. And we all heard the rumors as when we were a kid, like, hey, my dad's cousin's best friend's little brother's twice removed ex-wife's little niece works at Square Enix, and they said he was just stating some real facts. Like, if Midgard was just one full disc and they were just trying to test the waters, he had some logic behind it. He goes, as a company, the next part's gonna be bigger, it's gonna be better, because they sold 3.5 million copies in 3 days, bro. Like,
yeah, they've already made $250 million. They're rolling in it, and that's not including the deluxe editions.
No, the deluxe editions are 160 something bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. But he was saying, as a company, they're going to see how much they sold, and they're going to see how much they can put into it. And I was like, all right, cool. So he was saying that the second part is going to be way bigger, more cities, because they have more funds to produce the game. It's going to be way bigger and more parts and just bigger chunks of the city. So yeah, I'm expecting the second part to be bigger. I enjoyed the demo. I'm really waiting for part 2. Like, honestly, the demo was cool and it set the presence for the game, and I had no doubt it was going to be good. The only thing I can say I didn't like about the release, or like the whole time from the trailer announcement to the demo, was the fact that, like, how can I say this? They gave us no summons in the demo, and I really don't like. We'll get into this later. Something about the summons. We'll get into this later. But the demo was good, you know, and we didn't get to try out a lot of the stuff, but the demo was good. I can't complain. The graphics were nice. The combat flowed so smoothly. I loved it. People don't like the combat for some reason. I don't know why. But the demo showed me a lot of good stuff.
I've heard everybody loves the combat.
I can name like 3 people that hate it. Like, it's
okay,
like,
well that's I like that. And we'll get into that later. But no, yeah, the demo is, I mean, speaking of the demo, I guess that's where I kind of fell out of love with it. Is I downloaded it immediately. I have like a Twitter guy that I have his alerts pulled up, and every time, you know, something comes out, he'll say something. And I remember he said Final Fantasy demo just dropped on PlayStation Network Store. So I was like, oh my god, I gotta go play that. So it was already 3 o'clock, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was at 3 in the morning, right?
Yeah, I downloaded it and played it.
When I heard about it.
And I was just like, huh. I don't know. Like, I was just kind of like, I don't know where this is going. Like, it felt really stiff.
Linear?
Very linear. That's the problem I had the most with it, besides the camera.
Reminded you of Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah, it did. It reminded me of the second half of Final Fantasy 15.
I never played 15. I have. I played like the first 2 hours.
So the first part of 15, yeah, the first part of 15 is the best of it. After something happens, there's like a little thing that changes kind of the whole thing. Well, it's very linear.
I got stuck in the city, and I got bored. Like, you stop free roaming and you go into a city, and there's like a whole different dynamic in it, and I was like, yeah.
I think that is something that they built this game off of.
15?
I think there's a lot of they built it off of that engine. You can see a lot of the same assets used. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it just felt like that, and it felt like the last part of 15 where it was just super linear, and they were just kind of like, all right, let's wrap this up, let's do it, let's go. Chop chop.
I think it's because it's a demo too. They have to find a way to make the demo appealing, but also keep it straight and narrow so it doesn't spoil everything. Like, they literally took a whole scene out of the beginning of the game. The Nibelheim flashback when Jesse's like, yo, what's good with you and Tifa? When I played the game at launch, I'm like, whoa, this wasn't in the demo. And you see Nibelheim in the first 5 minutes of the game. You see Nibelheim flashback.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay.
You also see the white materia.
In the first 5 minutes, you do?
Not in the first 5 minutes, no. In the first few hours, yeah.
Earth doesn't show it to you. It's weird. She turns her head, and it's like I don't see anything. You just see the bow.
Yeah, well, no, there's a part where it drops in the water, is what I mean.
Oh yeah. The flashback.
Yeah.
The flashback.
The flashback, yeah.
Oh yeah. In the first hour, when she touches you, you see it. Yeah.
Yep. So that was kind of crazy to see that. I mean, I felt like, I mean, I don't. Do you want to?
Expectations, initial reaction, graphical detail, difference.